Ok, magnífico, magnífico. Buenos días, muy buenos
Buenos
días.
días.
Espero que ustedes estén bien. Ah, hoy es el 11 de agosto, 11th of August. Next week will be our last class of summer, para que sepan, just so you know, so summer session.
Okay.
Next week we do indeed have class. So that will be the last one for the summer session. And we've got a couple of weeks off because, of course, Labor Day and people getting back and check. I think it's going to be September 9th or 8th or this or something like that. Because I believe Labor Day falls on September 1st, and surely they will not have class.
That's my volume.
Yeah, September 1st there won't be a class. It's
No,
Labor Day holiday.
it's Labor Day.
Okay. A ver. Vamos a practicar. We're going to practice, and this is kind of we're coming to a good natural ending for using regular verbs, using verbs that are kind of like this stuff. And now we're going to do some combo stuff, and we're going to remind people what the combo stuff is about. And this is not about compound tenses. That's a different thing. This is about using two verbs together. Okay. And this is something that even if you think, well, I know this super well, it's always a good thing to review. And sometimes I just call it verb one and verb two. I mean, it's using two verbs to talk about one action. So the key is we're not using a lot of verbs to talk about what happens in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not talking about sequence. Okay, sequence, an example of that would be something like me despierto a las 6. I wake up at 6. Me levanto a las 6:15. I get up at 6:15. Voy al baño. I go to the bathroom y hago el desayuno. And I make breakfast. It would be a sequence of things. This is when two verbs come together, but they're talking about the same thing. But they're joining together to create a new kind of meaning. Okay, so there's not a definitive list I can give you. Here are all the verbs that will do this because it's just a lot. But the key to know is that with these kinds of combinations, which we'll kind of preview, check out that video.
So Marilyn, I have a request.
See.
On the video, I noticed that in various spots, I identified two verbs together in the video. And then somewhere between 2 minutes and 36 seconds and 3 minutes and 6 seconds, there were so many phrases that used two verbs together.
We're going to review that. We're going to do a review because
okay, good.
That is a video that is has simple concepts, but it goes quite fast. And it's one of those videos where you, as a student, really have to be prepared to hit that pause button a lot.
Then
but we're going to take a look.
Later.
Okay, so the thing is, the video was not set up to be a perfect lesson. Here are all verbs. It just had lots and lots of examples of the two verb combination. So these kinds of two verbs talk about one action. It means that we're creating a special meaning using those two verbs together. Okay, but the key thing to remember is that when we do this, the first verb is the one that you have to do a conjugation with. Okay, so por yo, por tú, por él, a usted, por nosotros, por ellos, a ustedes. Verb one, the first verb you use, has to have a conjugation. It has to tell the story of who is doing an action. And the second verb is kind of like a caboose on the end of the train. It just hangs out there. And we don't have to conjugate it at all. But it's a nice opportunity to use a set number of verbs in that verb one category that are generally verbs that people memorize quickly in Spanish, get used to conjugating a number of them quickly. And you know what? You can slap on loads and loads and loads of other verbs without having to worry about a second conjugation because you don't conjugate that second one. So that's the nice thing. It expands a lot of what you can say. So we're going to take a quick look at an overview of what that's about. We're going to go back and look at the video, and then we'll come back to the slides and
this is like a neat thing because it's basically the same in English.
It is the same in English. Yes.
You conjugate that first word like I want, I see,
I'm going,
whatever. And the second verb, which we use all the time, is just it's the infinitive to do something.
Right. Exacto.
This is an easy one this feels easy for us English speakers because it translates literally the same way.
Exactly. That is the beauty of this, is that it is a structure you are already accustomed to. Therefore, it is a structure that your brain can fall into that pattern without a huge amount of effort. Because your brain already thinks in that pattern. And because your brain already thinks in that pattern, it will be a relatively easy thing to get accustomed to. Okay, got it. So let's take a quick look. So now, why do we use two verbs together? The reason we use it is that, again, it conveys combining those two, using them, right, connected, creates a special kind of meaning. And the meaning is going to hang on whatever that first verb that gets the conjugation is about. So we use it to express the idea of somebody is going to do something, okay? And that's ir. It does need the little word a, all right? It does need the a, and plus the infinitive. Okay? And again, the infinitive is our equivalent of English to with the action, to walk, to sleep, to fix, yeah, to eat, anything like that. It has to have the word to in English, but then in Spanish, that to idea is built into the infinitive, the noun word. So here, that particular one needs a little a and then an infinitive. So in other words, we use this to create that special idea of talking about future. Okay. So something that is not happening right now, but it will. All right. So that's the special meaning created by using ir. We use it to express the idea of wanting to do something. Again, it isn't really happening now, but we have the desire for something to happen. And for that, querer part turns to want part, right? So we want to do something. Okay. Yeah. Another special meaning is the idea of somebody can do something, or the other meaning we have is able to. So you only have to be a little careful of this in one way, and we'll talk about that later. Can or able to, and that is the part that is poder, the first verb that gets conjugation, right? Poder plus an infinitive. And it carries the idea of having ability to do something. Yeah. Okay. Or often we want to express the idea of have to. And actually there are about maybe 3 verbs. Maybe there's one I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. There are about 3 verbs that might do this in Spanish. But the one that's easy for you to figure out is tener, because have to, we know that to have is tener, right? And tener, just like ir, has to walk along with a little word a, tener, when I combine it with another infinitive, the second one needs to have that little word que. So We don't translate those little words out or the word, okay? But they need to be there because of that specific verb. Tener with que and an infinitive. Somebody has to. And the idea that this expresses is some kind of an obligation. Okay, so now there are other verbs that will do that job, but this is the easiest one for you to use. It's the verb, these verbs are all verbs, tener, poder, querer, ir. They are verbs that people learn early on in Spanish. So if you feel like you must memorize, then always memorize the yo form and maybe then also close form, because sometimes we travel with other people and we talk about what we are doing. And the other ones will come with time. Yeah. Okay. All right. So some examples so that you can hear the structure, and then we're going to go back into the video and listen for it. It is worth it in this context here. Okay. I'm going to eat something that is going to happen soon. Okay. And Spanish does not, in conversation, use a formal future tense often, because conversationally, meaning if I'm not reading in a newspaper article or listening to a news story, a news segment on TV, if I'm not doing that, if I'm just chatting with whoever, this is the normal way we talk about expressing future. It isn't happening now, but it will. Okay. I'm going to eat. We conjugate the ir. Voy a comer. Voy a comer. We will never say voy a comer. Okay. That comer is never going to become a como. Yeah. Voy a comer. Just like in English, we would not say, as Mark pointed out, I eat. Nobody says it that way in English. Well, we have the same structure, right? We are able to speak English. Podemos hablar inglés, right? We can. We have the ability. Okay. Bien. He wants to go. Él quiere ir. Quiere ir. We can leave out the N. We could just have quiere ir, and then it's one person wants, right? Quiere ir. I have to pay. Tengo que pagar. Okay. Let's go to the top over on the right hand side. Are they going to call? Van a llamar. Van a llamar. Are they going to call? We had that one. This is going to be one on that line. Do you want to eat? ¿Quieres comer? Do you have to leave? Right? You cannot stay. Do you have to leave? Tienes que salir. Tienes que salir. Okay. So the only really hard part about this is that you have to remember that phonetic needs that little word que, that is something that has to work with that verb phonetic, and ir needs to work along with that little word okay?
Right.
And we'll come back to those. Vamos a regresar en un minuto. We'll come back in a moment. When I need to soft share and enable my sound. We're going to take a look, and I want, as we go through this, for you to really focus on that. Now, in a natural conversation, every single two-verb combination, every single sentence in the video will not use those structures, because it is unnatural conversation to have like 20 examples back to back to back of this happening. But they'll happen when we want to, or when we need to convey a special meaning. Okay, bien. Entonces, and so I want you to notice how many examples happen. So we're going to walk through part of this again. We're going to skip the
He's one already.
Yeah, sí. Pueden ver, you can see. Pueden ver. Can you see? Pueden ver el video?
Sí.
Okay.
Sí.
Wait.
Sara y yo vamos a hablar acerca de nuestras vacaciones.
And here's our first one.
Right, I'm going to
what
talk.
isn't happening yet, but it's going to. We're going to talk. Vamos is what
Oh.
we're going to. So you see how that one is conjugated, and hablar is not.
Carla, ¿qué te parece si hablamos más despacio acerca de nuestros planes para este verano?
Yeah, what do you think if we speak
Suena
more slowly?
estupendo. ¡Vamos! Hombre, Sara, qué sorpresa. ¿Cuánto tiempo sin verte?
Yeah. Well, this is the long time no see phrase. This is a nice chunk. When you see somebody that you haven't seen for a while, ¿cuánto tiempo sin verte? How much time without seeing you? How would they really mean? Yeah, is long time no see. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. ¿Cuánto tiempo sin verte? ¿Sí?
¿Cómo estás? Pues sí, Carla, hace unos cuantos meses que estoy un poco...
It makes a few months that I am busy, that I'm kind of busy, un poco ocupada, a little bit busy. And I've been busy for a few months now. It makes a few months. That's the special structure they use. I'll say it's not the two-verb combination. So again, like I said, every sentence will not use this kind of structure, but there are a number of examples today.
Ocupada, estoy muy bien, aprovechando el fin de semana para descansar, pasear por Barcelona. ¿Y tú, Carla, cómo estás? Pues yo también estoy muy cansada, pero hoy contenta, porque es domingo y no hay que trabajar.
There it is. I'm just going to point this out. This wasn't on our list. This is an obligation combo. It's another two-verb combo, but it wasn't on your list. This is like tener que, except it's, instead of using tener que, it's hay que. And hay que, just like hay gente en el parque, there are people at the park, just states what's out there. Hay que, with a verb, is an obligation expression. Hay que trabajar is same thing as saying tengo que trabajar. Tengo que trabajar makes it personal. I have to work. I'm the person. Hay que trabajar also expresses obligation, but it does it in a general sense. It does not make it personal from the point of view of yo, homo suffix. Hay que trabajar, you have to work. Where you is the general you, not a you, a specific person. Yes. You gotta work. Hay que trabajar. Okay. And they translated this as I don't have to work. But really, it's talking in a general sense because most weekends, a lot of people don't work on weekends. So hay que trabajar, don't have to work. It's just talking about people in general. But it's an obligation.
Okay.
Pensando en vacaciones, ¿qué planes tienes? Pues mira, Carla, este verano justo no he hecho muchos planes aún.
I haven't made any plans yet, and that hecho's just a past thing. Don't worry about that.
Pero tengo algunas ideas.
And sometimes tener is not used with a second verb. So again, we have to keep in mind a lot of these verbs will function with verb and an object. And that same verb might be combined with a second verb. Here it's not combined with a second verb. I have some ideas. She's telling what it is she has, not what she has to do. So we don't have a que here because we don't have a second verb. It's talking about what she physically has.
Right.
In this case, of course, it's absent. I have some ideas.
Cuéntame. Me gustaría ir a la playa con mi familia.
And this is another two-verb combination. It's not on your list, but it's another two-verb combination. Me gustaría tells about what you would like. It's a hypothetical. It's like saying, I would like to be a millionaire. That's really hypothetical. Yeah, that's very hypothetical. It's not really future. It's hypothetical. See, me gustaría ir. What would you love to do if you could? Yeah, I would like to go. Like to the beach. Me gustaría ir a la playa. See?
Solemos ir a Cambrils, que es
And here's another two-verb combination. It's not on your list. Solemos is a verb that means usually. Usually in English is not a verb. But in Spanish, they have a verb that does. Usually. So this talks about frequency. So the special meaning is a frequency thing. This wasn't on your list. Okay.
No.
Some people in some regions don't like to use soler to usually do something. Some regions prefer to use just one verb and then say por lo general or generalmente, general. Because when you usually do something, you generally do something. It means a lot, right? It conveys frequency. So we conjugate soler, just soler, solemos, we usually. And what do we usually do? We slap on a second verb, ir, usually go, accompanies. Okay.
Accompanies.
So in many places of Latin America, they might not be, for example, one of our friends who's got some relatives in Colombia, she says, well, we don't usually hear soler there. We, people would say, instead of solemos ir, they would say, vamos por lo general a Cambrils. Yeah, they would use just the one. So there are different ways people may express these same ideas, just as we have weird structures that we just combine mentally, and we don't mentally plan it out ahead of time. Okay.
un pueblo así costero. Y he ido desde pequeña y
Here's a past tense. You can skip that. You just have to know it's
siempre me trae buenos recuerdos, compartir tiempo con mis primos, mi hermano. Esto siempre viene bien para desconectar un poco. ¿Qué más? Voy a estar...
Here's
I'm going to be.
Voy a estar. I'm going to be. And I think we're coming up to the time marker you were talking about there, Sam.
Yes.
Voy a estar también en el pueblo. I'm going to be in the village too. And voy a estar, it talks about my location where I will be. I'm not there now, but I will be there.
También en el pueblo. Y siempre has insistido mucho en los tomates.
Literally, you've always insisted a lot on the tomatoes from the garden. So what she's telling is that you make a big deal about she wants to get some tomatoes. She's hoping to get a stash.
Yeah.
Out of the
tomatoes.
So, yeah. And the has insistido, that is what we call a compound tense. It does use two verbs, but that's a different kind of structure. It's not a structure that you need to know for survival Spanish right now. If you're traveling in Spain, you do hear that one a lot. If you're traveling in Latin America, you will hear it less frequently. There are some complicated reasons that you don't need to know right now. Someday I may what that means, but this is just a past idea. You have insisted much. And the way they translated that, you've always made a big deal. Okay.
Del huerto, así que voy a tomar
I'm
nota.
going to.
Voy a tomar, and they left out the voy a tomar nota. I'm gonna take a note. I'm gonna make a mental note. Yeah. Voy a tomar nota. And,
Y voy a traerte unos tomates cuando estén listos.
Going to bring another one.
So there we got an ir and a verb. I'm going to bring, and the te on the end just tells who you're going to bring it to. I'm going to bring it to you. Okay, on the end is pointing to you as a specific thing, not a general, like you don't put weekends, but a real person, you. Okay, voy a traerte unos tomates. bring you some tomatoes. I'll, right? But it's future. I'm going to bring you tomatoes. She could have taken that little te and stuck it in front of voy. Some people might express that same thing by moving the te way out in front of the word voy. Because te, when it receives action, often has to be the very first word in front of the verb. It will come in front of a verb. So it could have been expressed as te voy a traer. Te, to you, te voy a traer. Right? That te, because it's a two verb combo in Spanish, it has the flexibility of you can tag it onto the traer, bring, or you can put it in front of the first conjugate verb. So, te voy a traer, correcto. Voy a traerte, también correcto. Also correct. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Cuando estén listos, it's not cuando están listos, whenever they're ready. Many of those tomatoes aren't ripe yet, but whenever they might be ready. As a subjunctive thing, don't have to worry about that. But we're looking at this. Voy a traerte. I'm going to bring you. What I will do. My future
Los
intention.
tomates cuando estén listos. ¿Qué te parece?
Debes traerme tomates.
Here's another obligation. It's like tener que. She could have said, tienes que traerme. You have to bring. She could have plugged in instead. Tienes que traer. But she's got debes. Right? Debes means should or ought to. One thing you should know. Debes. Deber in Spanish has a very strong connotation. So, you know how sometimes you say, oh, you have to come to this restaurant. But there's no pressure really with saying, oh, you gotta come. Everybody kind of takes it as, in general, sometimes simple, right? Oh, you've got to come to this restaurant. It just opened. It's great. See? Tienes que ir, tienes que cenar en ese restaurante. Deber has a really strong, forceful meaning, more forceful than tener que. I would say in Mexico, especially, deber is kind of a finger wag. It's like what your boss says to you. Yeah. So cuidado, careful. I haven't put deber in this group of your slide phrases because it is an obligation like tener que, but it has a really strong meaning. So notice what she's saying. She really wants those tomatoes. She is putting a spin on, you better bring them. You better do it. You gotta bring the tomatoes. She's saying it that way. She's giving it more force, more punch by using deber. Deber has very strong obligation. It's like mama, grandma, your boss wagging their finger at you. So that's why it's not in our list, because we want the polite, the easygoing, the soft pedal obligation stuff, yeah? Tener que. But deber is there.
Tienes que traer tomates.
And there she's got it as tienes que.
Sara.
Eso voy a hacer.
Eso voy a hacer. I'm going to do. So we had a real run of different combinations of two verbs.
Y así como más internacional o viaje planeado fuera, por ahora a lo mejor me planteo ir a alguna isla, no sé, me apetece mar, pero no te...
And choose a verb that's kind of like, no sé, I don't know, me apetece el mar. I feel like where do you feel like going? Oh, I feel like going for ice cream. I feel like heading to the beach. Yeah. The me apetece is what appeals to you. Kind of thing.
Pero no tengo aún nada planeado. ¿Y tú, Carla?
Pues yo tampoco tengo mi verano muy planeado. Los primeros días de julio voy de viaje a Praga.
And here it's not two verbs. I'm going on a trip. And the on a trip part is the de viaje. Okay, voy de viaje. Not voy a viajar. She could have said voy a viajar. I'm going to travel. But I'm going on a trip. Uses the word trip, which is a noun. Viaje is a noun. Voy de viaje.
Voy a ir unos
Voy a ir, I'm going to go, another
8
example.
días. Son muchos días, pienso. Y vamos a hacer turismo.
Vamos a hacer turismo. We're going to do the tourist thing. We're going to tour around. I'm going to try out some beer.
Voy a probar cerveza.
Probar is try out. I'm going to taste a few beers. Those are different in Praia.
Voy a caminar.
Ir a,
Voy a visitar museos.
ir a.
Y voy a descansar.
And she had a whole series of what I'm going to do. Voy a descansar. I'm going to rest.
También pienso que voy a ir a la playa. Voy a leer algún libro. Voy a intentar hacer deporte. Y voy a ir a un spa con mi amiga Sara, ¿verdad?
Eso también está muy, muy pendiente.
Y me gustaría cocinar platos nuevos estas vacaciones.
A lo mejor en Praga te inspiras con su comida.
Es buena idea.
Harry, ¿podrías contarnos?
Yeah. Here we have a few examples of about some advertising stuff. Skip over some of that.
Conversación con Carla.
Sara, has hablado de las playas de Cambrils. Me gusta mucho, pero ¿qué otras playas recomiendas?
A ver, ¿qué otras costas? Pues toda la zona de Cambrils, la zona de la costa de Tarragona, te la recomiendo mucho.
And I recommend it to you. To you, I recommend. Te la recomiendo. Te la recomiendo. To you, it, meaning the beach, recomiendo. I recommend.
Hay mucha variedad, puedes salir de fiesta.
Here's a good poder. Poder and what you can do, what you're able to do. Now she's talking about what we can do at this place. Go out partying. Puedes salir de fiesta. Puedes salir. You don't conjugate the salir.
Si te gusta más en Salou, por ejemplo, hay mucho turismo también. Me gustaría mencionar la costa de Girona, especialmente, en la Costa Brava, porque ahí tengo, por ejemplo, un recuerdo muy bonito. Calella de Palafrugell es un pueblo costero precioso, donde en verano se llena de gente y aparte hacen un concierto muy típico que se transmite en directo por la televisión y hacen habaneras. Es muy chulo. Así que te recomendaría visitar, bueno, toda la costa. En verano la temperatura es ideal y me encanta poder salir por la noche sin chaqueta y estar así de tranquila. Y Carla, ¿tú qué otros planes tienes aquí en Barcelona este verano?
Aquí en Barcelona siempre hay planes en verano. Creo que es importante hablar de las fiestas de los barrios de Barcelona, donde hay música, talleres, conciertos. Las ciudades tienen mucha vida en esos momentos, ¿no? Puedo imaginar una noche.
I will read this one. Puedo imaginar, I can imagine. Puedo imaginar, imaginar is not an interpretation, just puedo, what I have the ability to do. So you see, they had lots and lots of chunks of these two verb combinations buried within that video, although every single sentence in the video will not be able to use nothing but two verb combinations. These always get mixed up here and there. Okay. All right. Okay, we're gonna take a little closer look at these now. What we're gonna focus on these specific verbs in this slide set. I could have added on like a dozen other verbs, but then it becomes too much. So my intent was to plug in probably the most common, the most frequently heard verbs that are used in this way. There are dozens and dozens of other verbs that will have dozens of other special meanings. Okay, but for example, you could have combinations of the special meaning might be I need to talk about your desires instead of I want to. Okay. Or I just got done doing this. That will also use a two verb combination. But these are going to be some of the highest frequency. See? Okay? So the thing to remember is that some of these verbs in this high frequency two verb combo give some. A lot of them are irregular, so we have to remember, if you must memorize the yo and the nosotros part, and the other ones will come with time, the other conjugations will come with time. So ir, most people remember the conjugations of ir because it's such a survival verb, right? You have to talk about going to a place or going at a certain time. So we'll tend to memorize this verb pretty easily. So voy and vamos. Make sure you know the voy and the vamos, right? And the rest will come with time. Vas, va, talks about only one person. Van will talk about more than one person. And the vice is only in Spain. It's the plural of tu, so you don't really need the vice, but you might want the vas, right? Thing to remember is that we do need that little word a. All right. Voy a plus and infinitive. Vamos a plus and infinitive. Okay, so algunos ejemplos. Vamos a comprar comida por Instacart. We're going to buy some food on that app. But the por means by means of that app. See? Vas a practicar español conmigo. Are you going to practice? And then we put that word up front. We've got in the question form, right? Here we're talking about only one person, what one person is going to do. Ricardo va a trabajar más tarde. Ricardo va a trabajar. One thing I want you to notice, if we're using va, which ends in an a, because we have to connect the word a to it, you're really not going to hear people pausing between those two words. Yeah, you will not. Yeah, it'll be va. We'll drag the out rather than stop. So you'll never, if you're listening for somebody, don't expect them to stop and pause between those words. Ricardo va a trabajar. You might, in some learning videos, hear people actually doing that, but the way on the street, people speaking, they're going to pronounce it says va a trabajar. Va a trabajar. All right, so you make it a little prolonged on that va trabajar, not va a trabajar. Okay, so because it ends in an a and the next word is an a, those two sounds are going to slide together and just get dragged out, kind of drawl a little bit. Okay, but there won't be a stopping point. Van a lavar, van a lavar. Right, there's definite but again, you know what? Really, no pause. Those three words are going to kind of run together. Van a lavar, because they can run together. Mis hijos van a lavar mis platos. My kids are going to wash the dishes. Okay, so what is the reason for learning ir a? It's for talking about plans, what you're going to do. All right. And you can literally take any verbs off of these long lists that we got and plug them in. Theoretically, almost any, like 99.9% of these, you can just plug in separate verb. Okay. Okay, por ejemplo, let me just go on the list. Por ejemplo, vamos a ver el programa Gilded Age, ¿sí? Vamos a ver la película nueva de Marvel. See the new Marvel. Vamos a ver. Okay, it's going to talk about your future intentions. ¿Sí? Voy a dar un regalo de bebé. I'm going to give a baby gift. Voy a dar un regalo de bebé a mi sobrino. I'm going to give a baby gift to my nephew. Porque mi sobrino, mi sobrino va a ser papá. My nephew is going to be a dad. Mi sobrino va a ser un papá. It's going to be a dad. Okay. ¿Bien? Vale. Vamos a hablar con el jefe. We're going to talk with the boss. ¿Sí? ¿A qué hora vas a venir? ¿A qué hora va a venir el jefe? What time is the boss going to come? So anytime we want to talk about the future is ir a. So off the top of your head, any verb at all, is there anybody who can come up with an example? Un ejemplo of something you're going to do today. So use just the yo. Por ejemplo, voy a comprar fertilizante para las plantas. Buy some fertilizer. Y voy a comprar una bolsa de fertilizante, sí, para las plantas. O, por ejemplo, esta noche vamos a comer barbacoa. We're going to eat barbacoa. Vamos a comer barbacoa. Otros ejemplos, other examples to talk about plans. It doesn't have to be long plans. Sam, can I say?
Hello?
Sí, bien.
You're calling me? Okay,
Sí,
1 minute.
Sí.
Okay. Yo van a jugar en el parque. I'm going to play in the park.
Excelente. Going to play.
Marilyn, I have a question. How would I say they are going to play in the park? How would I proceed that?
They are going to play in the park? Ellos van a jugar. Ellos van a jugar.
Ellos. Okay, good.
Ellos van a jugar. And you might, you know what? If I already know, for example, an example, this gives an idea of context. They might drop the word ellos.
Okay.
If it's already understood. So if I am saying, por ejemplo, here's an example of context. Mis nietos, my grandkids, mis nietos están en casa conmigo.
My house.
Van a jugar en el parque. I'm not going to say ellos van a jugar en el parque. It's very likely people will not say ellos because I already established, hey, the kids are here with me.
The same. Right.
And because that's already
so
stated.
You know it's they.
Right. When I use van a jugar, You already know. Oh, she was talking about nietos, grandkids. Must be they're the ones who are going to go do that. Yeah. So the natural way you would hear that is without, they won't repeat the word nietos, because I just told you they're here with me. Van a jugar, we can assume is going to mean it's referring back to nietos. ¿Entiendes? Understand?
Yeah,
Sí.
got it.
And you may not hear that word ellos used if there is explanation before that. Okay. Otro ejemplo con ir a. An example with ir a. Otro ejemplo. Sí, Marcos.
Comer pizza sobrante. I had to look that up. Leftover sobrante. Does that sound right? Voy a comer pizza sobrante para almuerzo.
Leftover?
Leftover pizza.
Sí,
Para,
sobrante.
para almuerzo.
Para almuerzo, sí. Pizza sobrante. Pizza de ayer, sí. Pizza que cocinamos ayer. Pizza we cooked yesterday. There are many ways you might hear that. Sí, exacto. Perfecto, perfecto. And this will be, it doesn't have to be momentous plans for the summer. It can be whatever you're going to do for the day, all those little moments of life that we tend to talk about. See? Por ejemplo, voy a llenar, fill up, llenar. Voy a llenar el tanque del carro con gasolina. ¿Sí? Voy a llenar el tanque del carro con gasolina. Okay, vale. Otra era, any other ideas of talking about future action, what you're going to do, what somebody is going to do?
We have to do?
Not have to, going to. Just future. Ir with an a and any old verb. You said, was there one you wanted to contribute?
No.
Irar.
At first, we have to use something with either voy or vamos or vas.
Voy.
Voy, I'm going to. Okay, now we're going to tag on the little one. Voy a.
Voy a little poco leer.
Reír?
Leer.
Laugh?
No, I think that sounds like it might be another language.
Okay.
No, leer.
What do you want to say? Voy a?
I will be doing some reading.
Okay, I'm going to be doing some reading. We're going to skip that idea of doing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that doing. But I'm going to read.
Yeah.
Se dice, I'm going to read. Voy a.
I am going to read.
Voy a leer.
Voy a leer.
Voy a leer.
Voy a leer.
Voy a leer. Voy a leer. Okay. Algunos otros ejemplos. Let me show you. You can combine this with a little chart here. I can combine it with salir. Voy a salir a la una. I'm going to leave at 1. Voy a salir a la una. A la una just tells when I'm doing it. Voy a salir. I'm going to go out. See? Voy a volver a las 2. I'm going to come back at 2. Voy a volver a las 2. Okay? Okay. Lisa, take this one. ¿Cómo se dice? I'm going to take the bus.
Take the bus. Okay.
And you've got the new verb on the screen there.
I come back. New verb, tomar.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
¿Cómo se dice? I'm going to take. I need to use my boy.
Yeah. Yes. I'm going.
Voy, and now my itty bitty word,
Voy a tomar
el autobús.
en autobús.
Sí, voy a tomar el
Voy
autobús. Bien.
a-
Ba, 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 ba. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story. ¿Cómo se dice?
Cantar.
Voy a contar una historia. Voy a contar una historia. Bien, okay. I'm going to start. I'm going to start the film.
Okay.
I'm going to start. I'm going to put it on, right? Voy a.
Voy a.
Voy a empezar.
And you don't have to do anything with that word, empezar.
Empezar.
Oh,
It's empezar, right?
right.
Empezar. See? Okay, let me show you this one because this is something you hear a lot in conversation. Because often people talk about okay. A lot of times people want to talk about when something's going to start, right? When a game will start, when the movie will start. Because you're going to the movies, but you got to know what time to be there, right? What time a concert is going to start, what time the barbecue is going to start, what time the party is going to start. Okay, and so the it's going to start is a thing, right? The it is it's a onesie concept, right? If a party is going to start, the party is one thing, yeah? If a concert is going to start, the concert is one thing. So we don't conjugate it for boy because I'm not a concert, right? We don't conjugate it for bus because we're not talking to you. We conjugate it for LAS. Va a empezar. Va a empezar. Right? Okay, por ejemplo, la película, the movie, it's a onesie thing. La película va a empezar a las 8. It's going to start at 8. La película va a empezar a las 8. Oh, por ejemplo, el partido de béisbol. El partido de béisbol va a empezar a las 3. It's going to start at 3. ¿Sí? El partido de béisbol va a empezar a las 3. So if you're going to talk about a thing starting, we don't conjugate it for voy or vamos. It'll be conjugated as va. All right? Bien? See? We're going to wait here. Vamos a esperar aquí. Vamos a esperar aquí. Bien. We're going to look for a café. ¿Cómo se dice? We're going to look for a café. We want to sit down someplace, find a place to have coffee. Buscar is to look for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ¿cómo se dice we're going to look for? It won't be the boy, it'll be the nosotros version.
Vamos.
Perfecto. What itty bitty word do I need next, Lisa?
Vamos.
Esta.
Itty, one letter word.
You need an A.
Vamos a.
Vamos.
I'm going to slap on the word you see on the screen.
Buscar.
Buscar.
Vamos a buscar.
Vamos a buscar. Vamos a buscar un buen café. We're going to look for a good café. Vamos a buscar un buen café. ¿Sí? Bien? Por ejemplo. So I'm just existir.
Right.
Technically you could, but you're not going to use this. We're going to go in. We're going to go into the store. ¿Cómo se dice? We're going to.
Vamos a entrar.
Vamos a
Entrar.
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 We're going to go in. Vamos a entrar. Okay, so we're trying to show you lots of ways you can combine these with tons and tons and tons of these verbs. See, my friends are going to work. Como se dice? My friends are going to work.
Vamos.
No, not for my
No,
friends.
not vamos. Not vamos. No, I know. I goofed.
We need to talk about a bunch of people. Mis amigos
Va.
van.
They?
Right.
Van.
Mis amigos
Van.
is going to be like an ellos kind of thing. It's talking about more than one person, right? So we need a van. Van.
Van.
Mis amigos van a trabajar. Van a trabajar. Van a trabajar. Bien. Let's scroll down through. We're going to order pizza. Como se dice? We're going to order pizza.
Didn't somebody talk about pizza?
We're talking about we're going to. So we need to do nosotros.
Vamos.
Vamos. We need what little word?
Vamos a.
Vamos a
pedir
pedir
una pizza. Vamos a pedir una pizza.
Vamos.
Order pizza, right? And that pedir, you don't have to think, what do I do with pedir? You just pedir, right?
Right.
So you don't have to do any conjugation there. Okay. I'm going to remember this word. I'm going to remember this word.
Boy.
I'm going to. What do we do with ir?
Voy a.
Voy.
Voy a.
Voy a recordar. Okay. So always think of these as voy a. Always think of that as if it's going to flow right out of the next verb, right? Voy a. Vamos a.
Vamos a.
Right? Van a. Va. Right?
Just carry it out.
Yeah, see. So always ir was an a. Okay? Bien?
That's good.
Perfecto. So the only really hard part about it is remembering that little word. Ir just happens to need that little word. All right? Bien. Vamos.
Is running. To say, if you were to say, I am running. I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll figure it out.
How to do what?
I am running. Run.
Run, correr.
Correr, of course.
Correr. Yeah. I'm gonna run. Like what's it?
Voy a correr.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if what I mean is I have people with me.
Vamos a correr.
Oui.
See, and you know what? It's too stinking hot. Those people are crazy. I'm not running, but they're gonna run because they're teenagers and they can. I'm not going out there. Almost if you say they're gonna run.
They're gonna run.
Not boy, that's not vamos, because now I'm in a group, but they're gonna run.
Van.
Via.
Van, what little word?
Van.
Van a correr. Sí, bien, perfecto. Perfecto. Van a caminar, they're gonna walk. Sí, bien. Okay. Excelente. A ver, let me move on. Okay, so the reason we're looking at this group of verbs is that these are ones that are high frequency, meaning you hear them a lot. Okay, you hear them a lot. The next, and I would say ir is right at the top of the list of the highest frequency.
Right.
Okay. Because, and often in English, we often say that as gonna. Although that's not technically true, good in grammar, right? Going to, I'm going to wash the clothes, right? But how are people often going to say, oh, I'm going to wash the clothes? You're going to hear that a lot. All right. But the point being, ir a, this combination is probably on this list. It is the highest frequency. It is what you're going to hear the most, more than anything else, because we often talk about what somebody is going to do. It's just what is done. Okay. Let's take a look at querer. We're going to have querer, and from here on out, it's kind of hard to say which one is the next most likely. I don't really know, but here's one that is super high frequency because we use this verb quite often. If you're ordering coffee, you're standing in line, or you're ordering something off of a menu, or you want somebody to help you in a store. We often need this verb querer. And querer, first of all, we have to remember QU is just, that sound, right? We don't pronounce the Q. It's not queer, it's querer. Querer. And that E in querer, in the infinitive part of querer, is highlighted because it has what we call a stem change. And a stem change is just a fancy term. It means that E that is highlighted in querer up here, that this highlighted letter E, right in the middle of that word, splits off and it becomes two vowels in many of the conjugations. Here is the only place where we go back to the original letter E, from querer, nosotros. But the other forms will split off into a two vowel combo. And the two vowel combo, or the stem change, as they call it, is an IE. Not quiero, not taking off this ER and having quiero, but quiero. You have to have an IE, quiero. So the two forms you really want to know, you want to know your nosotros form, and you want to know your yo form. Yo and nosotros, yo and nosotros. And the others will fall out from there. But quiero plus infinitive. Notice this does not use the little word a. It does not need the little word a. Ir needs that little word a attached to it. Querer doesn't need anything at all. Just slap on the second infinitive that I don't conjugate. So, quiero, or I want. Quieres, or do you want? And often you will hear a good one to. This is very good to know that good form for, because people will often ask you, what do you want? They're going to ask you for what do you want? So you will hear, quieres, do you want? In a question, or asking about things that you want, or things you want to do, right? So, querer can be used for telling that you want a thing, in which case it will be followed not by a verb, but the thing that you want. Querer will often be combined with a second verb that we don't conjugate. Quieres, do you want? Quiere, does one person want something? Quieren, or they want. So no little word on. We're just going to slap on an infinitive, and it'll be two verbs right next to each other, like these. Here are examples. Queremos caminar por la mañana. We want to walk in the morning. Queremos caminar. Not queremos caminamos. We don't conjugate both of those verbs. The one verb does all the work. And the second verb just hangs on like the caboose to the end of the train. You don't do anything with it. Queremos caminar. We want to walk. No quiero ir ahora. I don't want to go now. And of course, we can make this as a no, but we don't want. Also, we can make it a negative idea. No quiero ir ahora. Or We can get rid of the no and say, hey, I do want to go. Quiero ir. Quiero ir. I want to go. Okay? To talk about one person, but I am not in a group or it's just that one person. It's quiere. Alicia quiere comer un plato vegano. Alicia wants to eat a vegan dish. Okay. Alicia quiere comer. She wants to eat. Quiere comer. Not quiere comer. No. Quiere comer. Quiere comer. Okay. Plural. We talk about a group of people. We just take the word quiere and we add an N to the end of that quiere. Because quieren. Los vecinos quieren ver el proyecto. The neighbors want to see the project. The project you have in your house next door, right? Los vecinos quieren ver. They want to see. Quieren ver el proyecto. So, querer plus a verb. No a involved. Okay? No a involved. Let's take a look at some possible combinations. Let's take one we saw. Somebody wants to see. ¿Cómo se dice I want to see a movie?
Quiero ver.
Quiero ver la película. Quiero ver la película. ¿Sí? Bien. Bueno. I want to see my friend.
Quiero ver something. mi amigo.
A mi amigo. Quiero ver a mi amigo. We do need a little there because when we have a human being, we say but that,
Quiero ver
again,
a mi amigo.
if you forget the little people will know what you mean. Quiero ver a mi amigo. Quiero ver. Yeah, there are some mistakes that are like big bad, confusion mistakes. There are other mistakes that's like a no big deal. And NBD, no big deal. Quiero ver a mi amigo. Quiero ver a mi amigo. Okay? I want to see your new car. I want to see your new car.
What's that? Say that again.
I want to see your new car.
Boy,
not I'm going to. I want to.
Quiero.
Quiero. Just slap on the next verb.
Okay. Quiero
ver.
Ver.
Tu carro nuevo. Quiero ver. Tu carro nuevo. Sí, bien. Okay. See? Okay. I want to get there. I want to get there at 8. We're talking about what time. And the at 8 will be a las 8. A las 8. ¿Cómo se dice? I want to get there. And get there is the same as arrive, right?
Quiero.
And now the second verb. Llegar. At 8.
At 8.
A las
8.
Quiero llegar a las 8. Sí. Quiero llegar a las 8. Ok. Vale, perfecto. Bien. Oh, I want to talk with my friends.
Yeah. Can't forget.
I want to talk.
Mi amigos.
Quiero
hablar mi amigos.
Bien. You're not happy with the service at a store. You've got a problem. And the idea you want to get across is we want, not I want, but let's switch to we want. We want to talk with the boss.
Queremos, I mean, queremos
Queremos.
hablar
Sí. Con
con
el jefe.
el jefe.
Capitán.
Bien, bien. Ok.
At the
Jefe.
El
Con el
jefe.
jefe. Con el
at
patrón.
the
Con el jefe. Sí. Vale. Bueno.
at the Diamondbacks game on Saturday, I saw a guy wearing a Diamondbacks jersey, and the name tag on the back was El Jefe.
Yeah. El jefe, el jefe can mean boss. It can mean the chief, the head guy, the
The big
right number.
cheese.
The big
The manager.
cheese. Yeah, the big cheese. Yeah. Jefe is whoever's in charge. And
That's it.
I run this place. El jefe. Yeah.
You run the castle behind you.
Ace race. That's it. Okay. All right. Let's take a couple more examples. Oh, I want to bring food to the party. I want to bring food.
Quiero.
Slap on the verb. Llevar. And now the word food.
Comida.
Comida. Bien. Perfecto. Perfecto. Okay. Vale. Bueno. All right. I want to switch back to a new verb so you get a little more practice with that. We're going to move on to the next one. So we have had ir, and the idea we're expressing is going to, what will happen, right? We've had querer, meaning we're talking about what somebody wants, okay, their desires, their wanting. And now we're going to talk about what we have the ability to do. And you may hear this often as a can do it, or as a negative, can't do it. Maybe there is something I can't do, and therefore I'm implying I need help. Like I can't see something, or I can't walk, I need a wheelchair, right? Or I can't pay, I haven't got the money. There are lots of things that you can't do, meaning you haven't got the ability. All right, so to express those ideas, whether it's positive, just the verb, or negative with the no in front of it, we often, high frequency, hear this verb poder. Poder, and poder, by the way, poder also functions as a noun. It means power. Power. And power conveys that idea as an action of can do something. Poder plus an infinitive. So notice poder and the infinitive are right next to each other. Querer and the infinitive are right next to each other. No little words in between. These don't need on. They don't need anything in between them and the verb. Don't even have to think about verb number 2. Just slap it on as it is. So this is going to talk about ability. This, like querer, is what we call a stem changing verb. The fancy term that means that in poder, for most of the conjugations, not for nosotros, but for all the other conjugations, we're going to need not just an but it is split into a 2-verb combo. That is what we call the stem change. Stem is just the middle part of the verb. So, becomes ue. Ue. It'll sound a little bit like that W sound in English. Ue. Because we have to pronounce both the U and the E. And they're going to blend right into each other. Ue. So that'll be puedo. Puedo. Puedes. And here, it can be important to know that tu form because people may ask you if you can do something, right? To help you in a store setting or an airport or wherever you may be. So know that you will hear that. If you hear puedes, that means they're talking to you. Can you do something? Puede to talk about one person. Pueden to talk about a bunch of people. But then for nosotros, it'll go back to the original o in poder. right? Podemos, not podemos, but podemos, podemos. So the two we're going to practice, have your duty, are puedo, yo, or podemos, we can, right? Puedo and podemos. Puedo and podemos. Vamos a ver. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to switch to a different group of verbs. Ah, muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice I can pay? I can pay.
Pago. Pago.
Puedo pagar.
Puedo,
And
pero
slap on the
pagar.
second verb, pagar. Puedo pagar. ¿Cómo se dice I can't pay?
Pero no,
I
No.
can't pay. No,
no,
no puedo
no pagar.
pagar. Okay. Bien. ¿Cómo se dice
No puedo.
I can pay with cash? I can pay
Yes.
with cash. You want to tell them how you're
Yeah.
going to do it. I can pay with cash.
It's in the example.
Puedo pagar and then con
Pagar.
efectivo. Right? The word for cash is efectivo. Efectivo.
Efectivo.
Con efectivo. Con efectivo. Bien. How do you ask? Here's a good one because we use this in stores a lot. Can I pay with a card? You want to ask the store clerk if he accepts a card, right? So you ask, am I able to pay using my card? Puedo, and we make it a question. So, you know, your voice will sound that lift in your voice will sound like it's asking a question. ¿Puedo pagar con tarjeta? ¿Puedo pagar con tarjeta? Can I pay with a card? Okay, vale, bien. You want to ask, can I come in? They use this verb for come on in, like to a house, a store, an office.
Yeah.
Can I come in? We're using it in the yo form. ¿Cómo se dice can I come in?
Can I come in?
Let's go back to. ¿Cómo se
Can I?
dice I
Quiero.
can? Can I?
Puedo.
Puedo. Okay. Puedo.
Puedo.
And just slap on the next verb.
Venir.
Puedo.
The next verb is.
Venir.
Oh, can you see the
Pasar.
slide? Pasar.
Entrar.
Puedo pasar. You could say puedo entrar, but puedo pasar that's colloquially used for come on in, right? Puedo pasar. Puedo pasar. Can I come in? Puedo pasar. Puedo pasar. Okay. You know, often people will use this when they're coming into the store because, you know, maybe you don't know if they're just opening or they're ready to close. So you ask kind of this as a nicety, being polite. Can I come in? Puedo pasar, sí. Can I help? Can I help?
Puedo.
Puedo.
Slap on the second verb.
Ayudar.
Ayudar. ¿Puedo ayudar? Can I help?
Puedo ayudar. Can I help?
¿Puedo ayudar? Bien. Bien. Oh, the kids can play baseball. The kids can play baseball.
The kids.
Niños.
They.
You can use any generic word for kids, little kids. Los chicos.
Ellos.
See?
Chicos.
Yeah, los chicos, and now can,
Podemos.
pueden, and we slap
Pueden.
on them. Pueden jugar
Baseball.
al béisbol. Pueden jugar al béisbol. Pueden jugar al béisbol. Muy bien, muy bien. Perfecto, perfecto. I can read now. Oh, I have my glasses. I can read now.
Puedo leer.
Leer, puedo leer. What about if you haven't got your glasses and you can't see it well? ¿Cómo se dice I can't read this?
Puedo.
Uh,
No.
I can't.
Can't.
Yeah.
No. You have to
No.
put that no in there.
We have to have the no in front to say I can't.
No
Because,
leer.
yeah.
No leer.
No puedo leer. No puedo leer. And then just say,
Yeah.
this is esto. Esto. No puedo leer esto. No puedo leer esto.
No. Oh, okay. No.
No puedo leer esto. ¿Sí? Bien.
Ajá.
Ok. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo se dice? I can't decide. I can't decide. We're going to put a no right in front so that we know we're making it negative.
No.
No, and now I can't. No.
Puedo.
Puedo
No puedo decidir.
decidir. No puedo decidir. No puedo decidir.
No puedo decidir. Okay.
No puedo decidir. No puedo decidir. Okay, vale, bien. I'm watching my clock here so that I make sure we fit in our last verb. I want to make sure, okay? Now, I wanted to make sure I did not shortchange our ir a, because this is the highest frequency, the thing you hear all the time from everybody in almost every conversation, whether it's formal or informal. Ir a, you've got to get a handle on that one. Querer talks about what you want. Poder talks about what you can do, or if you make it a negative with the word no, what you can't do, right? Because sometimes we need help when we can't do something. And here's our last one, and that is, do I have?
Tener.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here's our last one. Tener.
Tener.
Just like ir needs the little word a. Tener needs the little word que. Okay? Doesn't translate to anything at all. It's just the word that has to accompany tener. So just as you get used to voy a, vamos a, van a, we have to get used to tener que.
Tengo a. Tengo que.
Tengo que. I have to. Tengo que, tienes que, tiene que, tienen que, tenemos que. All of those need que. If we're going to add a second verb, if we talk about things we have, we don't need the word que. Right? Que does not get slapped on if we're talking about things. For example, tengo un café. I have a cup of coffee. Tengo un café. We don't need que. Tengo un café.
Tengo.
If I want, tengo mi celular. I have my cell phone. If I'm talking about a thing, the cell phone, then I don't need the word que. Tengo mi celular. But if I say I have to call, now I need, yeah, now I'm talking about not I have my phone in my hand, but I have to do something. So when it's the to do idea, that the que has to walk into the picture, right? Here's the other thing to know. Tener, just like querer, just like poder, has what we call this stem change. It's a little more complicated here because tener is a very irregular verb. It's got lots of oddball things it does. It doesn't just take off the T-E-N, or take off the E-R off of T-E-N and then conjugate from there, right? The yo also gets a go. It just does. But almost everybody memorizes tango. And most people remember tango pretty easily. Tango, right? Tango gets a G, but then the G doesn't appear any place in the other conjugations. It does, however, get a stem change here. So we do need that, that stem change. That first E after the T, that does split out into a double vowel, but not for no. It's this out in the other places. So the E becomes an IE, an IE. tienes, tienes, tiene.
Tiene.
Ella tiene,
Tiene.
usted tiene. The nosotros never gets a stem change ever. If a verb is a what they call a stem changer, nosotros is always universally out. It does not use the stem change. It goes back to ten, tenemos, right? But then the IE comes back for they. Ellos tienen, ellas tienen, ustedes tienen, okay? So we can have things or we can have to do things. So tener with que means we're talking about an obligation, right? Tengo que leer mis correos electrónicos. I have to read my emails. Tenemos que usar Zoom en la clase de español. Tenemos que usar. Tienes que pagar con efectivo. You have to pay with cash. You know, some places will not accept a card. So you need to know, if you're paying, if it's like cash only kind of place. Tienes que pagar con efectivo. Tienes que pagar. Right? But notice pagar doesn't go conjugation. It just stays pagar, right? Mis colegas tienen que trabajar en casa. My colleagues have to work at home. Mis colegas tienen que trabajar. Tienen que trabajar. Okay, but it talks about obligation. Have to. So let's pull out a few examples. Oh, let's start with the one we finished with. We have to decide. ¿Cómo se dice? We have to decide.
Let's go.
And tenemos.
Little word. Okay.
Oh, tenemos que decidir.
Tenemos que decidir. Okay. Bien. I have to find my keys. I have to find my keys.
Tengo.
Little word. Tengo. Little word next.
Tengo encontrar.
Que encontrar. Tengo que encontrar. This is one of those things. If you forget that word que, it will sound a little odd.
Tengo que. Okay.
Right? Somebody will like have to think hard. They're expecting to hear that word que. Tengo que encontrar mis llaves. I've got to find my keys. Tengo que encontrar mis llaves. Let's say you park in one of those huge malls where you're like, you can't find anything. You know what I mean? That huge parking lot.
Put the alarm on.
Yeah. You know, you go out to Tempe Marketplace and there are no markers in the parking lot. Oh, no, I've got to find my car. Oh, I've got to find my car. Tengo que encontrar mi carro. I'm going to send you for homework so that you log in and think about this and use this. I'm going to send you some ideas that I want you to translate. I don't normally do a lot of translation, but I'm going to come up with a lot of translations that are going to be things you would hear if you were on a trip somewhere, or if you were just talking with somebody in your family, or somebody in a hotel, or somebody next door to you, things that would be very common. And I'm going to use just these combos that you had for examples this week. So we're not going to venture out of that. Okay? See? Todo bien? All good?
Yeah.
Bien. You're going to get a listening video, which will be a fun storyteller. It won't be anything earth-shattering. It'll just be a fun to listen to story to get for the big idea. Y eso es. And that's it. Okay? Está bien.
Hey,
Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. Y nos vemos, ¿sí? Bien.